Welcome to this short overview of some of the ways in which Scotland is embedding learning for sustainability across its educational landscape. In 2012, the Scottish Government commissioned a working group to set out a vision for learning that enabled a commitment to Learning for Sustainability, or LFS. This vision was accompanied by recommendations that were accepted by the Scottish Government in full in 2013. This included 5 headlines that remain the core vision for the LFS strategy that we have in Scotland today, namely that it is an entitlement for all learners aged 3 to 18. The responsibility of all educators, underpinned by a whole-setting approach for all 3 to 18 settings. It's supported by the physical environment and policies in every setting, and it's enabled through a strategic national approach. Since 2013, there have been successive action plans, the most recent of which, Target 2030, a movement for people, planet and prosperity, calls for strengthened action across 30 action areas and a movement for change for everyone, with every learning setting to be sustainable by 2030. Ongoing Scottish Government commitment recognises that this transformative agenda requires the commitment of all Scotland's people, supported throughout their education. The Target 2030 Learning for Sustainability Action Plan, published in 2023, states that it is not just for a few, it is for everyone. And so all key education bodies are involved in the delivery of the National Action Plan, and you can see many of them mentioned on this slide. And how is this joined-up approach experienced by our educators, children and young people? Well, this is the intention as defined for 3 to 18 education. LFS is a cross-curricular approach which enables learners, educators, learning settings and their wider community to build a socially just, sustainable and equitable society, and as an effective whole-setting approach which weaves together global citizenship, sustainable development and outdoor learning to create coherent, rewarding and transformative learning experiences. As part of this architecture of support and commitment, LFS is deeply embedded in the professional standards for teachers in Scotland as set out by the General Teaching Council for Scotland, GTCS. GTCS is the independent regulatory body responsible for accrediting initial teacher education programmes and setting entry requirements. They ensure that programmes prepare student teachers to successfully meet the mandatory standard for provisional registration before entering the profession. Additionally, GTCS accredits all ITE programmes offered by higher education institutions on a rolling 6-year cycle. When it comes to LFS, the professional standards for teachers are underpinned by learning for sustainability as a cross-cutting theme, interdependent with the other cross-cutting themes of values and leadership. At its heart, LFS within the professional standards is about what it means to be a teacher in Scotland. No matter what stage of your teaching career, whether working to the standard for provisional registration, full registration, career-long professional learning, middle leadership, the standard for headship, or as college lecturers, the professional standards give a consistent message of the role we all have to play in ensuring the learner entitlement to LFS. But it isn't just about the professional standards. Initial teacher education institutions in Scotland have recognised their important role in questioning and collaborating with student teachers to imagine and develop approaches to weaving LFS throughout their practice. In 2025, a national framework for LFS in initial teacher education was launched. The creation of this framework addresses one of the targets in the LFS action plan by addressing the commitment to create a single national approach to support LFS in initial teacher education. Commissioned by the Scottish Council of Deans of Education, it was co-created by, with and for members of the initial teacher education community in Scotland through discussion, reflection and consultation, drawing on the expertise and perspectives of teacher educators, teachers, school mentors and young people. While it's celebrated that each institution will develop its own place-based response to meeting the needs of Scotland's diverse learning communities, this framework offers a shared vision for the future of LFS within initial teacher education across Scotland. In terms of next steps, the framework is future-facing, as a central aim of it is to support ongoing and reflective collaboration and action. And the final section of the framework is focused on orientation towards action and offers some touchstone questions to support discussion and futures thinking. A second next step to mention is that following the successful launch of the framework last year, there was a national survey of educators to get a sense of the Scotland-wide picture of understandings and practices of LFS. The survey received over 500 responses from educators working across communities, schools, colleges and universities. The first report, which focuses on insights from over 300 school teachers, was published earlier this year in February 2026. It's featured here and linked to within these slides. LFS has been embedded in education in Scotland for over a decade as an entitlement for all children and young people, and this survey is starting to give insights into the ways in which LFS is playing out in Scotland's educational settings and also provide better understandings of the impact of the current LFS architecture that is woven across the structure of teacher education. And more will be published on this soon. I recognise that this short video has been a very quick overview of the work that's ongoing and developing within and across Scotland. Please do feel able to get in touch to learn more and follow these links to find out more about the various frameworks, policy documents and structures we have covered. Thank you.